Right, time to get some stuff done in the day first with some interesting stuff that gave me some thoughts about the drones and all. And that looks really interesting when it's all covered. Do I read comments? Is that a trick question? Because I think I read comments all the time and interact with them in my videos. That's usually how I get a lot of my information too, because like I said, I'm just like everyone else, learning to fly the drone, I'm being educated about the laws and so forth, and basically putting it out there. I still haven't bumped into anyone who thinks all the proposals are 100% fantastic though, so it'd be interesting to engage in a conversation so we can see inside the minds of people who say like 100% it all makes sense in every way. Alright, got most of the things done for today. I was just thinking again about the insurance. I mean, a lot of you even said too, like, good luck finding insurance at that rate, especially if someone trying to find it for recreational flying. Even from my own experience, from my research, and again, to my knowledge, is mainly to cover commercial people. You can even see the quotes that I got before, and there's no way that's like $15 a year. So it makes me wonder, where are they getting their statistics from? Is it just, do they have something on the inside that I'm unaware of? In my opinion, again, if there's a kid flying like a quote toy drone, like a really tiny one in an open field, why should they need like insurance for that? Or at the same time, why should they write their full name and contact details on that? To me, that just comes down to ignorance in terms of people not understanding what they're regulating, and they're just basing it on public hysteria. It flies, it must be like, you know, deadly. I mean, in some cases, just for people to relate, I mean, it is kind of this ridiculous. It would be the equivalent of saying, you can bring your dog out there, okay, that's fine, but if you bring out a hamster, you better put your name and address, contact details, a leash on that hamster, because for some reason that hamster is deadly. Like, what? I mean, even when it comes to danger with animals and stuff like that, it's not just based on size, correct? It's based on things like what kind of species is it? Like, what are the odds of something dangerous happening? I think that's what it should be about when it comes to things like drones. It just boggles my mind how the common sense just goes over people's heads in many ways. But one thing, like I mentioned before with this, in my opinion, there should be no exemptions really for anybody. Everyone should have to talk about this. Like, even if it doesn't affect me, I should still have to keep it in mind. So it kind of got me thinking, because even many of you say you actually don't fly drones for video or photography or anything like that. You just fly it for fun, whatever, for the thrill of it, doing stunts and all that. So this kind of caught my attention at first. Like, first I was reading what would be prohibited, I guess. It says things like formation flight. No person shall operate a small unmanned aircraft in formation with other aircrafts unless the operation is conducted under a special flight's operation certificate. Now, the confusing thing for me here is, like, by aircraft, do you mean like other drones or model aircrafts? Because that's kind of silly if you say I can't film something like that when we're in full control. Or if you mean like a bigger jet, then that's a little different, like flying into stuff like that, then yeah, okay, that's kind of stupid. But doing stuff like that for fun, like in an open field with like my drone flying and capturing a model aircraft or something, like that would be kind of stupid if that's what this is trying to say. Like, for me, I don't fly a model aircraft, but in my opinion, again, the law should make sense for everybody. And so I was reading here, in terms of aerobatic maneuvers of flying a model aircraft, it says, no person shall conduct aerobatic maneuvers with a small unmanned aircraft unless the maneuvers are conducted under a special flight's operation certificate. Are you kidding me? I mean, model aircraft people, feel free to chime in, but I assume you guys fly things like that for the thrill of the speed, or to do, like, you know, basic stunt maneuvers, like going in a circle or whatever, and to tell people they can't do that? Like, what? That's completely, that's an overreach in my opinion. Like, what's the point? They're in an open field, it's perfectly safe, there's no one there, it's okay to fly normally, then why can't they do like a loop or whatever? You're telling me you have to buy some kind of, or register, like, for approval to do that? I'm sorry, but that's like, I don't fly like a model aircraft, but again, I have to think about everyone else too. Like, even though it doesn't affect me, because I fly like in a very slow manner for the most part to get like the cinematic views, like, that is plain stupid. What's next? You're gonna make it so that people, when you ride a bike, you need an actual license to do, I don't know, like flips or whatever, or even someone walking. You're telling me if anyone wants to do any kind of backflip in life, they need a license for that? That's ridiculous. You can't tell me that's about safety either. I mean, to me, that just sounds like plain someone is trying to control a hobby to make it say, you better do it our way specifically, which doesn't make sense at all. Yeah, I wonder what I should try today. I'm thinking of something, since it's all this talk about maneuvers and so forth. I actually never tried the fixed wing mode in this Mavic Pro. Should I try that? I guess that kind of makes it like a model aircraft. Like, to me, I'm in a big, huge open field. I mean, there's nothing to do with safety for those regulation proposals, in my opinion, if you're stopping people from doing stuff like that. So I guess that was the mimic test of what it's like to fly a model aircraft in many ways. That was the fixed wing mode I tried with the Mavic Pro. And the controls are completely different in terms of stability and how you have to handle it. So obviously this one is always flowing forward. So you have to kind of know ahead of time like where you're going in a sense. Like obviously you need to do that with like the drones as well. But with things like quadcopters, people are used to things like stopping. It can stop dead on its track and then move. Whereas this, it's constantly moving. So you have to constantly be adjusting its position. And I think that's what people need to realize too. Like the difference in terms of the tech, how people are flying it to determine things like the regulations. But like I said, even though I don't do like flips and turns and all that stuff because I do it for video and photography reasons, that shouldn't stop people from doing like, the tricks and stuff that they want with those model aircrafts in open fields like this. I mean, to me, that's just silly to say, okay, you can fly it straight, but you can't do like, I don't know, a barrel roll or something like that. That's actually one of the things I'm so surprised most people don't realize. Like with drones, it can actually stay in the air hovering. Like most people think it's so amazing, but to me, it's like, isn't that common for most drones nowadays? I mean, one of the things I even said before, in my opinion, it comes down to education, and there's an extreme lack of it. It's making people fear the tech. And from reading like reports like these, like the proposed regulations, I have to wonder, where's Transport Canada's attempt to educate people about the drones and all? All I see is basically like fear mongering, like for a lot of parts of it, saying like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that because of potentially this. Where's all the education, for example, to help people fly safer? I mean, if you think it's so unsafe, why don't you show me, like as a Transport Canada, where would you fly? I'd like to see a Transport Canada employee or anyone, like Mark or no, like in a really constructive way. Let me see you, like for example, vlog in a day of the life of a Canadian, how you see people using a drone. Let's take an example of a 14-year-old kid. Let me see you register, pay all that money for the insurance. Let me see how it is in your view. I mean, to me, this way would show whether or not like those regulations were actually practical when they were thinking about it, or just something they threw together. Like, who cares about the regular person? This is what like we think is going to be good, so there. And try living it. That's what would be the real test. And if anyone says, well, they just simply don't have the resources and manpower to help educate people, well, then why are you stopping people like me from educating people about it? Man, it's funny how that works, isn't it? Where's common sense these days? It doesn't have to be that complicated. Spend your energy going after the irresponsible people, leave the responsible people alone. Same thing with every type of tech. It's kind of sad to say, where in many ways I think the issue just comes down to people just don't want to share like things like the airspace and stuff. Just like the people I was debating with, or one person specifically like on this channel, it's just like, no, it's my space, get out of here, like you're just general, like it's all us, like, well, time to grow. Like in terms of airspace and all that, I mean, why the heck would there ever be like a helicopter or whatever coming as low as, say, this tree here, or even an airplane? Alright, see you guys later.